This is beautiful. David Markstein, come on out here. David, hello, my friend. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so remind everybody, you were a big-time, big-wig buyer in the gold department.
Not a big-wig, but I was a buyer for 24 years here.
Okay, 24 years.
Been in the business now, for the jewelry business, for 33 years.
Have how many pages in your passport?
I've been on, I think I'm on my 7th passport now since I started, been extra pages, but I was just in Italy, and we were at the jewelry show in Arezzo, which is Tuscany, and I had a chance to visit the Vatican, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it was right after Pope Leo was
elected.
Elected,
yeah.
thank you. And it was a really exciting time, and it's very appropriate that this necklace is available, this brand new necklace, because for me, the inspiration behind it is often that I was an architecture and art history major, and I'm often looking at churches, and this is the Duomo in Florence that I was looking at and inspired by. Last year when I was there, I took a picture of one of the windows, and it had this design. Now, I love the way it's fluted the cross. It's a really interesting pattern, but the necklace itself, it insinuates almost a rosary style necklace.
For sure.
When I look at necklaces that go with pendants, I look at hundreds of necklaces, and I want to find the right one that is the scale, and that's why I did this. I'll let you talk about the choices.
Well, the choices are as follows, because these are sterling silver, but when you do see, say, like a yellow gold, and forgive me, mine are all twisted, but when you do see, for instance, the silver choice, obviously 925.
Yes.
Then when we go into the yellow, that's 18 karat over 925. And then you have your two-tone.
Which I love, by the way.
So do I. And you can see what is so two-tone about it. The 18-inch necklace, which is like that bead chain, is done in the sterling. And then the cross, which is about an inch and some in length, is done in that 18 karat over sterling. So that would have to be my pick. But I have to say right now we have this sale going on. Like a lot of our silver is up to 30% off.
It's amazing.
When I see this and I know it's made in Italy, I don't know how we did $69.
Well,
David.
It's a lot of negotiating. You know, having been a buyer, it's very funny. The buyers know how to negotiate with me because I've been there before, and I know how to negotiate with the factory. So we're getting them from both sides, trying to give the best value for you. And pieces like this, which are kind of heirloom quality pieces, come out of this, but it's made in Italy by a factory, top factory, for making these pendants, and they do a lot of cast type products, but the chain itself is also beautiful that you can wear on its own. I always make sure that if the pendant can come off, I want it to, because it's a beautiful chain on its own. It's a solid chain, solid pendant, but the inspiration behind it was so beautiful. I remember snapping the picture of it against the Duomo in Florence, which I was just there again, and I sent it to my manufacturer, and they said, let's see what we can design. They do sketches and things like that. They come back to me, is this what you were thinking? I go back again. I want everything to work out perfectly with the scale of this, and it looks so beautiful on Deanna.
It's so ornate. It's such a traditional kind of iteration of a cross necklace, which I love, because in recent years we've seen kind of like trendier kind of iterations of cross necklaces, including you know, crosses that are like tiny bitties, and then they have tons of gemstones, or they have like an elongated kind of like drama presence. But I love the complement of the bead chain to this really ornate cross iteration, and I think it does look so rosary, which to me tells its own story.
Absolutely, and the jewelry, obviously the meaning, jewelry with meaning is everywhere right now, and the way I like to express jewelry with meaning is sometimes more subtle, like in love knots and something, but sometimes it's just the faith itself, the cross itself.
Agreed.
And I like putting a big bell on this, so like, again, it's very easy to put your own chains on this. You could wear it, take it off, wherever you want, but the cross, the symbol, the crucifix, the symbol of protection, love,
and you don't,
faith.
You know, many of us wear crosses, have crosses, buy crosses, gift crosses, but not all crosses obviously have the true crucifix of Jesus. And that's what you have depicted here, which is why I called it a very traditional iteration and very like Italian Catholic, very Vatican City, very like those incredible
conclave. It's very much...
it's very the conclave, and that takes us to kind of a really almost like a secret society, and like a very, very unspoken power. And I'm being told that in the gold, which is the 18 karat over sterling, we now have 300 remaining in the yellow. In the silver, 250 to go around, and my favorite, the two-tone, which is what Deanna's wearing, fewer than 400. That is so clever how you did the two-tone.
Well, I always like to have a color story with my jewelry, and again, I always say you don't need me as a designer for QVC if it's going to be the standard cookie cutter type item. So I always want to come with a color story. So in this case, I could do the traditional yellow and white, all yellow, all white, but two-tone refers to the yellow, 18 karat buttery color yellow over the sterling, or that rhodium over the sterling. And in this case, I like the fact that the chain was in yellow, and we could keep that cross in, the chain is in white, and we keep the cross in yellow because it just makes it a little more fresh, a little different. And the scale, again, isn't it? I just think it's very sweet. It's not, you're not trying too much.
Nope.
It's just very easy to wear. I love the bead chain that we did. That's from a separate factory, of which they are the best at chain making. I think there's a few factories that do this, but they are great with the bead accents and things like that. So it came out beautifully, I think. And I'm so excited that I can launch it in your show. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, David. All right, my dear friend. Wow, what a special, special thing to have on the show tonight. Love you.
Love you.
And we're going to keep it moving because somehow we are moving into our final few minutes of this first hour, and then we're going to be into our final hour of this